Tee Stauch case?
Yeah, so we just got done with video advisement, which is just really her being advised of what charges she was arrested on. Those will not be the formal charges necessarily, although we probably will have the same formal charges. That will occur next Wednesday, 4 o'clock p.m. in Division 15. So that's where we are today.
Okay. Is that also going to be the jail video advisement? Or
No, she'll be present in the courthouse that day.
What about bond?
So she's being held on a first-degree murder charge, so she's being held without bond going forward.
Can you tell us anything about what her defense attorney has petitioned at this point?
No, I can't. Those are still under a protection order, basically, at this point. Any motions that defense has filed and that sort of thing. And again, the arrest warrant is still being sealed, so I can't talk about the facts. I'm not going to talk about any of those things going forward. She is innocent until proven guilty. We need to remember that as well.
And talk about the importance of having everything under seal in this case, particularly help the public understand why.
Yeah, so the request for the affidavit to be under seal was made by law enforcement because it was made during the pending investigation. We want to make sure that we're protecting information so that if any suspects are found, that we can have some private information that they wouldn't necessarily have unless they're involved with the case. So that's typically why that's done. I'm not talking in a general sense when I say that. That was basically the request in this case, that we keep it under seal for investigative purposes, and it remains under seal today.
Why was she brought back?
At this point, Gannon's body still has not been found.
I'm not going to talk about the facts of the case at this point. I want to make sure that we're not trying the case in the media.
Why was she brought back over land rather than by air?
That was a decision made by law enforcement, not necessarily by the DA's office, and so I would have to refer you to the law enforcement agencies for that.
On the way home?
I have no idea.
Is it true the judge asked for the advisement to be today? Because typically an inmate, it takes a day or two after they're booked. Can you talk about that and why that request was made?
I'm not sure what led to the advisement occurring today at 1:30 as opposed to tomorrow at 1:30. I got the notification and came over to the courthouse, so I'm not sure why it came up so quickly.
In general terms, are cases without a body more difficult to prosecute?
It's a new challenge on a case like a homicide case without a body, but it doesn't necessarily make it necessarily more or less difficult.
How long until you guys think the affidavit will be unsealed?
It would be impossible to guess at this point.
And would your office support media coverage during the court proceedings?
Generally speaking, I think the public has a right to know what's going on in the courthouse. I don't have any particular position on that. It's up to the judge.
Would your office be willing to make a deal with her in return for locating the body?
That's way too premature at this point to even have that discussion.
You said not having a body provides new challenges. What are those challenges?
I think those challenges would be obvious, and I don't want to get into the facts of this case, so I'm going to avoid answering that question for now.
In terms of previous experience with your office, though, we did just do a trial without a body.
Sure, but every case is different. We need to keep that in mind as well.
What would you say to Gannon's family?
When I talk to Gannon's family, I just want to make sure that they remain patient. This is going to be a long, drawn-out process, and they need to keep that in mind. We're in the justice system now, and it's going to take a long time.